We'd love to welcome our speaker for today. Sid, thank you so much for joining in. Just invited him up to stage. Many of y'all might already be following him on Twitter. He is the co-founder of Onjuno. Been in the space for a while, where they have been building Noah protocol earlier, and now building a very, very interesting, startup in this space. Sid, over to you.
All right, cool. So, guys, this is my metaverse avatar, and this is me in the metaverse. So, as Suhas and Aditya have already mentioned, I'm the co-founder of Onjuno. Onjuno sits at the intersection of banking and crypto, serving the U.S. market, serving the U.S. retail market. What we're really going after is the whole narrative around getting paid in crypto. What we believe is, all this while people have been buying their way into cryptocurrencies, but what we are already seeing with games like Axie Infinity and a bunch of other interesting projects is that people are not going to buy their way into crypto. They are actually going to earn in crypto and just live their life in crypto. And we are just helping people get there, get to that particular future as soon as possible with Onjuno. And the narrative that we're going after is, hey, you believe in crypto, you're probably working for a crypto company, but you still end up getting paid in US dollar. Why? Why not get paid in crypto? We enable you to do that. And there are people working in our sorry, people who are signed up with Onjuno from Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and obviously a lot of these investors that you see over here, Sequoia, Polychain, a lot of people from these investor communities are also using Onjuno to get paid in crypto. So let's go to what is DeFi, right? DeFi is an open and global financial system built for the internet age. It's based on, there are smart contracts in it. It's sitting in blockchains. And then there are a bunch of properties which I will talk to you more about in detail. But let me just touch upon the evolution of finance first before going into what are the properties of DeFi and what it really solves for. So the evolution of finance, modern finance actually, it so happened. I mean, I'm just talking about the platforms which are already digital. Let's start out from there. So things like Paytm, HDFC Bank, all these have their digital presence, and that's where they interact with most of the users that they have currently at this moment. So that particular entire uh, set of platforms is currently called TradFi, which is nothing but traditional finance. So, while it has leapfrogged from being physical only or branch only services to now digital first services, there are a bunch of problems associated with this approach or the TradFi approach, which a lot of people realized, and that's how DeFi came about. Let's talk about one or two of the problems. The most important thing is that it's centralized. So at any point, HDFC can or Paytm can just ban anyone from using the platform. It might be because of a good reason, but it might also be because of a not a good reason. If at all someone, uh, you know, uh, someone's evil mind comes about, and he wants to just ban someone, so he or she can actually just do that in the centralized world. That's one of the cons. Then the other thing is that if you as a developer want to build on top of Paytm, or you want to build on top of Zerodha, currently you have to be approved by that platform, and they have to give you the API access and probably the API keys and so on in order for you to build on top of it. But and this is again something which a lot of which DeFi really solves for. So overall, the fact that hey, anyone can ban you, it's a centralized ecosystem. Your money is there at one point, and it might not be available to you. Your account might be frozen for whatever reason. B People are not able to, developers are not able to build on top of this without the permission of the platform. Now that's when DeFi came about, and it tried to solve these two problems. How did it do that? Is because it's all based on blockchain. It's all sitting on a public blockchain. everything is happening via smart contracts, and there is no single entity to govern the movement of funds or to govern how these platforms are going to interact with the users. Now, this is where we should talk about the properties of DeFi and how is made possible in the DeFi ecosystem. Firstly, DeFi is permissionless. So what that means is that anyone can access and build on top of any other of any data that's sitting in the blockchain. So currently, there are a bunch of platforms that have been built on top of on top of Ethereum in the DeFi ecosystem. Now, obviously, one platform was Nuo, another platform is Compound, Uniswap, and a bunch of these. Now, if I, as a developer, want to today build, leverage the say the liquidity that some platform offers, leverage the users that some platform has, and build on top of that is very much possible without the permission of any of those platforms currently. So, even if I'm the owner of Nuo Network, anyone can actually build on top of Nuo Network as well, using the liquidity, using the users, and they can actually just, start creating an interface on the web and interact with the smart contracts that are written in Nuo or in Compound, and start interacting with these platforms or protocols. So that's what permissionless means. Composability, which is just another way of putting that you can actually build on top of another protocol. So uh, Nuo was actually using Kyber protocol, was using Uniswap protocol. Now, how in the flow of funds, we were actually real time using these Uniswap's liquidity, and I will explain to you a little more. But the idea is that in real time, without the permission, we Nuo's smart contracts was able to interact with Uniswap smart contracts without anyone's permission, and that just unlocks a bunch of a bunch of other use cases and super power to new players in the ecosystem. And that's how you can actually build credibility. Sorry, that's how you can actually uh, get adoption in terms of other users, create something of value already and immediately as soon as you launch a particular protocol. That's why you'll see that in less than a month's time, the value total value locked inside particular platforms or protocols actually jumps from zero to billions of dollars without any marketing as such as well. All right. We will get into some growth strategies later as well, but the basic idea is that composability means you can build on top of another protocol without any permission. Transparency, that's the third value or property of DeFi. What that means is, every all data is accessible because it is on chain. It is on the blockchain. It is all accessible to everyone. And let us just look at one example. So DeFi Pulse is an aggregator of all DeFi protocols, and the liquidity locked and a bunch of other things. In Can you see the DeFi Pulse interface right now?
Yep, we can.
Okay, perfect. So, this is what DeFi Pulse really gives. It talks about, hey, how much is the total value locked inside DeFi, all DeFi platforms, right? Which is $74 billion. It's locked inside all DeFi platforms. And if you just see, these are all the platforms that it is tracking right now. And it can tell you what is the value locked inside every platform. Maker has $15 billion, Curve has $10 billion, Compound has six, Uniswap has $7 billion locked inside of the smart contracts of these platforms or protocols. So, without the permission of any of these platforms or protocols, this kind of an interface, DeFi Pulse, is able to directly fetch data from the blockchain and give values and make sense out of what's happening and present it to the user. That's the power of transparency. You will never have HDFC or Paytm or any bank or fintech. You will never be able to get such accurate real-time data as to how much value is locked or how many users are there in the platform and so on. And that is the power of DeFi. Everything is so transparent in the DeFi world. And I'm sure there'll be questions around how do you create defensibility, but that's a question for another time. We can take that up separately. Defensibility of the business, so we can take that up separately. Immutability, which is the last property, is basically once some data is written on a blockchain, because it is a public blockchain, you cannot go back on that data. So if some transfer of funds has happened, it has happened permanently, and you cannot get back that transfer. That's the meaning of immutability. Cool. These are the properties of DeFi.